Stay safe as you visit Kenya's magnificent beaches. Holidays can be short, don't make life that short. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in the Kenyan waters. Are you playing your part? Wear your life jacket before going on board. Keep a close watch on children when swimming. Do not stand. Refuse to board a full boat. Stay away from the waters if you're drinking alcohol. Holidays are fun, but don't make it this the last time you enjoy. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in water. Our call and rescue center is open 24 hours. In case of emergencies, call.
Build them a house that years can't touch. Build them a home that makes them feel safe and loved. Build them a house that lives up to your dreams. When you build a home, build it with Nguvu Cement from Bamburi. That is reliable and trusted to build durable structures. Because homes are built to last forever.
Awesome! Brought to you by Kenya Engineer, Kenya Maritime Authority and Bamburi Cement. Awesome! Everything around you has been engineered. Are you tired of reading sensational news items on government contracts? You know, the propaganda type of I don't know what the bank has given some billions to some road projects. You know what I'm talking about. Are you in need of in-depth analysis of how engineering has influenced Kenya, or rather revolutionized humanity? And of course, you've heard about the Malaysias, the Singapores, the tattoo cities. Do you want to know the story behind the tragedies, collapsed buildings, or know the mightier power in those Kawasaki engines? Or passionate about technology and innovation, the iWatch thing, the Akina CGR, the Storos, how can railway be standard and have gauges? Or are you looking for tenders, engineering jobs, suppliers? Then join the Kenya engineering community. Get a copy by dialing 0719-207712 or join the Kenya Engineer online community www.kenyaengineer.co.ke. Kenyans were this, and now they are this. Some of the trending tech topics in Kenya include the controversial debate on digital broadcasting, the free Wi-Fi in public transport, electronic voter registration system, geospatial information system used by land surveyors. This only shows how much technology, information technology, has impacted in our lives. Terms like analog and digital have been used interchangeably as daily slang to appreciate the tech survey generation or ridicule the old generation.
Within such a short time of 10 years, we've brought in a new industry based on software development and ICTs and open and remote information gathering systems and so on. We're also seeing a lot of courageous moves into new frontiers like data analytics. So we see a lot of courage in the fraternity of software development, of labs, of hubs, etc. and so on. There's a lot of enthusiasm from the youth in this new field, which is inspiring for them and shows promise to take them to a different state of livelihood.
Terms such as e-government, a computer for schools, one child, one laptop are some of the terms by and large in our daily conversations. Let's try a tech trivia, then we'll realize that ICT is always with us. For example, a marine engineer at Kenya Maritime Authority relies heavily on ICT systems to keep track of cargo.
How do you know that a ship is in distress? We have various communication equipment that are on board ships, and these equipment are able to communicate with the same equipment that we have at the Regional Rescue Coordination Center here. So once a distress call is received from a ship, it can come by means of terrestrial equipment, that is a VHF equipment or HF equipment. So a vessel will see, an operator in the vessel will simply press a distress button, and that will automatically bring a signal back to here at the RMRCC. That signal will give us the position of the vessel, the MMSI number of the vessel, and the nature of distress.
A plant engineer at Bamburi Cement is literally glued on his computer monitoring temperature sensors, pressure sensors in various stages of cement production.
The control room, apart from health and safety monitoring, is also the center of operation. All the plants are fully automated. The control screens are displayed in the control room, and the production foreman is able to see the constitution of all the materials in the plant. Is able to see the quality, the product quality of the cement being manufactured in the plant.
And a system engineer at the Kenya Engineer magazine works long hours on various applications just to deliver the news to the engineers on real time. Welcome to Kenya's technological advances. ICT literally has penetrated all sectors like banking, education, industries, transport, housing, and agriculture. It is incredible how you can move billions within and cross nations by use of your mobile phone. Unlike 10 years ago, all mobile networks providers in Kenya are using various mobile interface products to offer mobile money transfer services. It is evident that technology has transformed lives in Kenya by creating more employment opportunities, increasing networking and communications in the country.
In the 70s, when we used the stethoscope, and just listening to the patient as the main tool for diagnosis. Over the last 40 years, we have moved from just listening to the patient, the history, which is very important, the stethoscope, to highly specialized equipment of diagnosis, where we are able to see the internal organs, of the patient, from the eye, whether it's the eye, whether it's the nose, whether it's the throat, the area where I specialize in, which is the heart diseases. Indeed, with heart diseases, we have seen the greatest development in terms of the management of heart diseases.
Did you know that over 22 million Kenyans get on the internet searching for information on websites and blogs? 99% of Kenyans have access to mobile phones. That the time spent calling stands at a staggering over 6 million minutes annually. Kenya Maritime Association is relying on effective ICT systems to keep track of cargo. Technological advances in Kenya's telecommunications sector have put the countries among the top African countries in internet connectivity with the highest bandwidth per person, the fastest speeds, and some of the lowest internet costs. These improvements, coupled with a vibrant media industry, have increased the diversity of information sources and boosted e-commerce and created job opportunities. Actually, the social media platforms are at the center of this revolution. Of course, you've heard the young Kenyans talking of Twitter revolution. Currently, there are over 22 million Kenyans on the internet searching for information on websites and blogs, watching online TV channels, or listening to internet radios, sharing their social life on various platforms. Offline, nearly all Kenyans aged 15 years and above listen to the radio at least once every 4 weeks, thanks to cars, computers, and phones with radio applications. Alongside rapid growth in radio listenership, rural electrification and cheaper TV sets have propelled TV viewership to shoot through the roof. At the core of success of the telecommunications sector, however, is the responsibility of engineers to build and improve Kenya's ICT infrastructure as a key element of a successful strategy that focuses on ensuring that information is meaningful within an existing knowledge infrastructure. Kenya's telecommunications sector has come a long way, survived many social, cultural, economic, and technological waves. Like most African countries, Kenya's telecommunications had the potential of growing into a vibrant sector. Before the commencement of formal liberalization in the telecommunications sector in 1999, which overhauled the sector's policy and structure, media analysts viewed Kenya's telecommunications as inefficient, to say the least. The Kenya Communications Act was published in 1998 and set up the legal framework for the entire sector. The Telecommunications and Postal Sector Policy Statement, which was published a year later, aimed to revitalize the sector and place it in a position to contribute towards making the country recognized regional sector for financial and industrial activities. In 2000, the telecommunications sector outperformed all the other key sectors of the Kenyan economy, growing on average by approximately 20% annually, a growth that was highly attributed to the major advances in infrastructure, favorable government policy, as well as an active and innovative private sector. The National ICT Master Plan, the 2013-2014 to 2017-2018 plan, presented a roadmap aligned to Kenya's Vision 2030, expected to transform Kenya into a digital country. It aimed at, among other things, help to create an enabling policy, legal and regulatory environment, provide e-government services that are simple to use and convenient for citizens and businesses, and enable scale-up ICT innovation, among other goals. Mobile telephony has become the most important mode of telecommunication in developing countries, with Kenya witnessing explosive growth in the sector. Mobile is the first accessible communication service for most people in rural Kenya. Mobile telephony overcomes the absence of infrastructure and electricity in rural areas. The cost of mobile handsets and calling has been substantially reduced thanks to the tariffs wars that have been the character of Kenya's mobile communication market since 2008. This technological development has come with its own socio-economic impacts. We have seen unprecedented growth in this industry and in turn accelerated economic growth in Kenya. Least to say, only to the super rich 1%. Negatively, the introduction of mobile phones also saw the emergence of high-tech crimes. This has been experienced in Kenya, where citizens are conned and lured after being made to believe that they were winners of some prize money. Another element of mobile telephony that has proven to be a success is the mobile phone charging businesses, especially in the rural areas. In a study carried out in 3 different locations in Kenya, mobile phone charging were found to be a major source of income in Kendube, Jabini, and Tharaka. In a survey of mobile money transfer in Kenya, the study found that mobile money transfer was an important feature of the Kenyan economy system and a critical financial need for many people. All economic sectors from banking, education, and hotel industry have embraced mobile money transactions in their businesses. Strictly speaking, mobile money transfer has banked the unbanked. In Kenya, mobile telephony is in a class of its own, with basically everything having the mobile side of it. The elimination of the cash transactions in the sector has improved convenience, security, accountability, and crime-proofing in the industry. A recent research also revealed that mobile banking is now among the leading mobile phone services and applications with the largest user base in the country. With mobile banking, you can access your bank account, take soft loans, and pay utility bills. Research has attributed the exponential growth of mobile banking to the steady decrease of the cost of mobile phones, making mobile phones a necessity by many Kenyans. Kenyans exceed their counterparts continent-wide in the use of mobile money transfer services, with 60.3% of all Kenyans sending or receiving mobile money compared to Tanzanians 14.1%, Nigerians 0.5% and South Africa's 3.2% usage. Today, 9 out of 10 Kenyans are said to have access to mobile phone, which means that 99% of Kenyans have access to mobile phones. Kenya's media landscape has changed beyond recognition over the last decade, significantly changing the way people consume information and, by extension, advertising trends. Notably, radio stations increased tenfold from just 10 in 1999 to 107 in 2010, most of which were regional vernacular stations. Television stations, on the other hand, increased from 4 to 15 in the same period. Kenya's e-commerce sector experienced massive growth in the years as more Kenyans used their computers and phones to seek information, socialize, shop, network, and conduct business. Soon after, the emergence of online retail outlet shops, which provide local retailers and suppliers with a platform to sell their local goods to Kenyans, changed the way we shop. Today, using your phone, you can go online and shop, pay through mobile money, and have the good delivered to you. The convenience has seen many opt for online shopping, and this has increased sales. In part 2, we discuss the role of engineers in ICT. What is the future of ICT in Kenya? When it became apparent that fiber optics were replacing copper wire as a more appropriate means of communication signal transmission, it was time for Kenyans to take action. Kenya has been very aggressive in trying to digitize its citizens. This it has done by supporting the introduction of fiber optic cables into the country. The country now owns 4 undersea fiber optic cables. Meanwhile, Kenya has invited investors to partner with the government to build a super-fast 4th-generation long-term evolution LTE services network. LTE or 4G networks have 5 times faster data transmission speeds than existing 3G networks. 4G also supports high-definition video conferencing. Globally, it's an interesting time in the world of digital broadcast television. On one hand, some countries in Europe, Asia, and the USA have already switched over their broadcasting systems to the digital platform. On the other hand, a few countries in Africa and other parts of the developing world are in various stages of finally switching off analog signals, thus ending long digital analog simultaneous broadcasting periods. Meanwhile, broadcasters, particularly in Africa, are still cautiously contemplating the massive task of migration from analog to digital TV broadcasting. Add to this the vast numbers ranged somewhere in between, and the result of an industry undergoing metamorphosis is one gradual element at a time. Analog TV transmission platform has been in use for several years, now enabling broadcasters to air their programs and viewers to watch their favorite TV programs. Despite being popular for such a long time, the analog platform is limited in terms of features, quality of signal reception and sound, and therefore the need for better technology, digital broadcasting. The transition to digital broadcasting doesn't have to be all pain and no gain. By being innovative, broadcasters can leverage digital technologies to deliver enhanced services that can not only help with audience share but also lead to revenue sources. Yet, it is not only the advent of digital that has changed the broadcasting industry. For several decades, pay TV platforms such as cable and satellite have enjoyed high penetration in many countries. Moreover, new services such as Internet Protocol TV, IPTV, mobile TV, and internet download have dramatically altered the way in which TV audiences view their favorite programs. The audiences are demanding more choice and voice as to where and how and when they watch TV, inevitably preferring those platforms that provide the greatest flexibility. Terrestrial free-to-air (FTA) TV has been the default option for years in many countries. FTA broadcasters have often scheduled their programs at their own convenience, with their target audiences having very little to say as to when their favorite programs would be aired. The advent of digital broadcasting has caused the ground to shift, with more nimble players coming into the market. At first glance, it might appear that not too much is gained for the significant cost. However, as evidenced by several highly successful digital terrestrial TV (DTT) launches in Asia, North America and Europe, creative and strategic use of the DTT platform can lead not only to broadcasters regaining market share, but also to new revenue sources as a result of enhanced services. Although the cost of digital transmission is significant, it can be mitigated by several factors. For example, infrastructure sharing can reduce the total capex by around 40% for two broadcasters sharing common radio frequency (RF) infrastructure, with greater savings achieved through a shared multiplex. Given the inevitability of the transition to digital and the increased need to compete on the basis of content, the onus is on the broadcasters to make the most out of the content. Although the timeline and approach in Kenya, as is in most countries, has been significantly influenced by the government seeking, among other objectives, the digital dividend, the transition is now gaining momentum among broadcasters who are keen to get something out of it as well. Despite tough competition from other platforms, digital terrestrial television is expected to stand firm, particularly in its free incarnation in today's digital environment. There are many new ways of consuming TV, and broadcasters must be open to this and make sure they are part of it. The traditional model of selling advertisements around programs will hold, but broadcasters need to build other things onto that. In many ways, broadcasters need to reinvent themselves. They are no longer limited to delivering simple programs by terrestrial means alone. They can consider a range of new services and platforms to provide a complete entertainment solution. In engineering, the most notable ICT development is the introduction of design software that is being used to develop virtual images for projects. With such software, the engineer is able to modify designs at the request of the clients without having to redo the entire design work.
The experience has changed dramatically because when we started, there were no softwares. We used to use pens and papers. So if you're designing, then you have the ruler and something we used to call a T-square. So those are the tools that we used to use at the pen. So if you make a mistake, then you have to rub. And that rubbing, because the paper is a translucent paper, you don't use a rubber, actually. We used to use a razor blade. So it was quite cumbersome. Then the other problem is if a client changes a design for some reason, then you have to actually do another whole new drawing. You cannot amend because it's already done in ink. So now with the software, it's easy because if there's a change, then you just need to pick the software, then you amend and you move on. So there's a very big change within a span of 10 years.
ICT has also been used significantly in water transport. Monitoring and communication in the waters has been made possible and efficient through use of technology. Today, there is no engineering innovation that does not factor in the role of ICT. In fact, doing so would be an absolute failure. The challenge with ICT is getting enough resources and funds to sustain it. The other challenge with ICT, especially for those investing in it, is the rapid change. What is trending in the market today may be overtaken by a new technology tomorrow.
A lot of people have been trained on the mechanical side of machinery, but now it's changing so fast. We're going away from the mechanical side. We're going more and more into electronic controls and electronic management of machinery. Everything now is fingertip control. So this is one of the biggest challenges, is that continual change that's happening all the time.
Therefore, to keep up, engineers have to keep thinking of new ways of doing things and how to incorporate ICT in all future innovations. In our next episode, we look at housing in Kenya. Join us next week and find out what role engineers are playing to support and grow the housing sector in Kenya.
Build them a house that years can't touch. Build them a home that makes them feel safe and loved. Build them a house that lives up to your dreams. When you build a home, build it with Nguvu cement from Bamburi. That is reliable and trusted to build durable structures. Because homes are built to last forever.
Stay safe as you visit Kenya's magnificent beaches. Holidays can be short, don't make life that short. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in the Kenyan waters. Are you playing your part? Wear your life jacket before going on board. Keep a close watch on children when swimming. Do not stand. Refuse to board a full boat. Stay away from the waters if you're drinking alcohol. Holidays are fun, but don't make it this the last time you enjoy. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in water. Our call and rescue center is open 24 hours. In case of emergencies, call